I'm Devon. I'm a game developer, and we are back with more XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. So we've had a rough couple of missions. So we just had a guerrilla op come up, and our roster is a little bit thin. Two-thirds of our troops, Major and Colonel, are currently wounded on covert ops, retraining, etc. So we're going with a bit of a thin group on a weird team comp here. We have three different options available, but we're choosing to go with this one because it is a relatively few enemies, it's supplies, which we really need, and it's countering Dark Tower, which will make it a lot harder to keep our best troops in rotation. So pretty happy with this choice. Went ahead and put together the team for this one before the stream. So we've got a bit of a non-traditional comp here. We're actually looking at 2 Rangers, 2 Grenadiers, a Spark, and a Specialist. So we've got a lot of aggressive damage, which should be especially good against few enemies. And then we've got a decent amount of utility in the form of Frost Bombs, Mimic Beacon, etc. We are bringing the Spark, despite the fact that he's at like 2/3 health. Well, this looks a little vulnerable. I'm not super worried about it because he does have 4 armor. So this is a lot more effective health than you might imagine. We've spread our weapons out a bit here. We've got the Katana on Julia, who is spec'd more as a Blade Master. But then we've got the Arashi over on our other Ranger, Cobra, to focus her a little more on the shotgun tree, so we can get some. And then she also has the axes. So we're spreading our weapons and best stuff out a little bit so that everyone will have some ability to do useful stuff. Both our Grenadiers are loaded out with tons of grenades and ammunition. And then we have our lowish level Specialist spec'd out as medic with the Plasma Bolt Caster, like we've been doing before. So, all in all, despite our roster hurting a little bit, I'm pretty happy with this team comp for going on this mission. So we can go ahead and hop on in.
Sky Ranger deployed.
Menace, ready to deploy.
Deploying. Alright. So this is a item recovery mission. Knife Road. Operation Half-Eaten Beast.
Unfortunately, alien reinforcements were quick to move on the site. We've lost all contact from the resistance forces.
Alright.
Secure the area. Eliminate all hostile contacts and recover the assets. Menace 1-5. We've got a bead on the Advent data vault near.
Alright, so there's 7 enemies, and it's basically just Advent Troopers, Codexes, and Andromedons.
Extract the package before its contents are destroyed.
Alright, so we've actually got a decent chunk of map behind us, but are really trying to push this way onto the target. We're on a timer, so we do need to keep a little bit of pace, but I'm not terribly worried about it. New bombard ability on our mech looks pretty good. So everyone else is probably going to have to run up this, ladder on the side here. So let's send Bishop up first, just to... Hell, is there anyone who can get farther up? Diamond, you have some mobility, right? And still not that much. Oh, so we can pull people up this ladder and get a little more cover there. So, how far can you get up? You can get up to here. Okay, so let's put the mech here. Yeah, that 9 out of 15 makes me nervous, but 4 armor should make that sufficient to
Good copy. Moving on target.
not have to worry too much about losing our mech, which would be pretty rough out after the amount we've invested in it. So since we've scouted out this area, we can probably take a couple of yellow moves up. Just because we do want to keep moving. Let's go ahead and start here. And then we can try and yellow move people up behind this. Alright, so that's 3 of the 12 enemies. 18 health on Priest now. That's quite a bit. So then we can start running people up into cover here. We should be safe to get cover here. Is there anyone we want to post up on that position? Other ranger actually would be reasonable to put here. So we'll make that move first since it's the closest and most dangerous. Alright, only a vision of 2/3 of the squad, which is not ideal, but should be fine. We'll put our specialist here, because he's got the bolt caster, so having him in a closer position, since he's going to need to spend a lot of time reloading instead of moving. Alright, so this is, assuming nothing goes horribly wrong on our next 2 moves, this is a very good first turn of the mission. We've got vision of 1 pod, we're making good progress towards the objective. This is risky. This should be fine.
Location confirmed.
So I wonder what... Maybe we'll be facing a Chosen here, given that we see a pod of 3, and we know there's exactly 7 enemies left on the map. That could imply that there's going to be a pod of 3, and 1 Chosen. So it is likely there's more enemies over here. I'm kind of inclined to try and wipe out this pod before we do anything else. But it's not a great position. We could try and blow up this vehicle to take out these troopers. If we had a remote start, it'd be really good. Alright, so yeah, it's just a question of, do we engage on these guys or do we push towards the objective and deal with them later? I think it's better to deal with them now. We're at a not as good an angle cover-wise. So I think I'd be happy to actually start this one off with a frost bomb, freeze all 3 of them, take them out, and try not to get too much closer as far as exposing ground goes. Maybe pull our shotgun ranger up to here and see if that exposes any other pods as our farthest move forward.
Moving to designated coordinates.
Alright. Yeah, I think I'm liking this. So we get to go ahead and frost bomb them. Alright, so that reveals a good chunk of us. We do still have 2 cloaked rangers here.
I feel light on my feet.
So then we can take decent shots on any of these guys. We could overdrive or bombard. Got 100% with good crit chance here. Oh, we don't have vision of the priest. That's interesting. So she's almost certainly going to do this. Although we could try and save her. Still got some concealment. Alright, let's take a shot with him, see how that goes, and then we can decide how we're feeling about use of resources. So 93% here, 98% here. And that is a little more than 50-50 to kill, but not great. Let's go for the big money on the priest. So, we don't have to kill these guys this turn at all, because they will be frozen for a full turn. So, we don't need to worry too much about use of resources. Or we'd rather not focus too many resources on killing these guys and just clean up next turn rather than spend any consumables like grenades or rockets or whatever that we might need later in the mission. I would very much like to get you some Talon rounds. Alright, so we'll want to keep Julia in concealment for at least one more fight here. I'm fine taking the 80% to hit kill here. Minimum damage, but still sufficient. Alright, and then you do get shots from... Let's go here.
No problem, boss.
Poisoned, nice. Alright, and then you can just pull back here and overwatch. And we'll see if any other enemies patrol into us. We don't want you to move anywhere, so we'll just end turn. Frozen. Poisoned. Yep, I was right. So we do have a Chosen this time.
So many choices.
Okay, summon savage allies, Overwatch, bewildered skirmishers.
So little time.
Alright. So that is a slight complication, but should be okay. But that does mean the last pod is going to be very unpleasant to deal with.
I relish these quiet moments before the strike.
Alright, so let's scout ahead with Diamond to see if we can find where that last pod is. Just so we don't stumble into it, because it's probably 2 Codexes and an Andromedon or something equally scary. And it's probably hanging out somewhere in this area.
Okay.
Maybe that yellow move was a little risky. But there we go, yep. So got sight on these guys. We'll be able to be careful we don't get messed up with that. So let's just do a quick check of where there is vision. So if we go anywhere out here, this whole area is safe. Roof is safe. So where do we... Okay, so basically more than 1 square away from this building, we see them pretty soon here. So, how much are we worried about the hunter? How much are we worried about this pod? How much are we worried about the time limit? All good questions. So you've probably got yeah, you've got close to 100. Let's just pull you up a little ways and have you finish off this guy. And then everyone else can go ahead and take a reload. Alright, got that. Anything we need to go pick up over there? Nope.
You'll have better luck with that thing than my sibling.
That's a little dark there, sir. Okay, so we would probably like to land a whole pile of grenades on this little pod. The codexes are going to split. We could try and sneak a frost bomb on them at some point. So this does have vision from the codex. It says there's vision of an alien. What is it? I don't know, but I don't want to risk it. Okay, so we've got this big old bus for cover to push closer. Alright, so let's start off. I want to get a reload on the specialist. How far can you move? You can move up to here. Let's just move the robot here first. Make sure that doesn't set anything off. Then pull the specialist up to here and reload.
It's killing time.
And then we can rotate everyone else around the back of this bus. We've got 5 turns. Feels like it's not worth taking a lot of risks here. We're pretty sure this couldn't possibly see anything. I'll risk it. Alright. And then can run you up to here. And then throw down some reloads and overwatches. Reload's good. So we could also make a dynamic entrance with the robot, could be interesting. Could also kick down this door at some point. It's an interesting thought.
Enjoy these final breaths.
Oh, reinforcements is not great. So I would like to fight the reinforcements pod without anyone else. So let's try and set up a fight where we will be able to overwatch the reinforcements a lot without getting ourselves into trouble. So I think we can actually get up on the roof here. And should be okay.
Let's move already.
Alright, cool. Okay, so we are in a lot of danger of activating this pod, basically. So that activates. That activates. Oh, anything along here activates. Okay, what even is the plan? That is a terrible location for the reinforcements to be coming in for us. Which is presumably why it was selected. Man, we just can't... We could just try and go on this pod this turn. That sounds horrible. Oh god, even here is... A reinforcement... Well...
I'll take the high road.
Oh, is this going to expose her? I hope not.
Scanning.
This unit is relatively agile. Sensors at maximum sensitivity.
On Overwatch.
Alright, we're just going to have to throw down some slightly awkward overwatches here. Oh, didn't mean to do him. And hope that this reinforcements pod isn't too bad. Could be a lot worse. Could still be a mighty inconvenience if the codex is activated at the same time.
Hostile squad here.
Alright.
Come on!
Like the holo targeting there. Don't like that it missed anyways.
Negative damage.
Alright, Lancer down. We've still got...
Who's keeping score?
These guys both running upstairs is great. That gives us a lot more ability to shoot them without... These guys... Oh, revealed. Interesting. Okay.
I'm looking for you. I'll give you a sporting chance.
Okay, yep. So we need to get you out of the way.
From long range. You need to get out of his line of sight before it's too late.
So that'll be a thing. Alright, so up on the roof is probably going to be the best way for us to try and fight these guys. I don't know if these little overhangs are safe line of sight wise. Alright, how much damage to you? 10 to 11? Not guaranteed kill on either of these guys. Alright, well let's get you out of tracking shot. That did activate the hunter, unfortunately.
Just because you killed one of
I really hope that didn't see the other pod.
doesn't mean I'll go down without a fight.
And we're starting to get...
Right where we want him. It's time to strike.
Alright, so we got 92... I've got... That's some interesting... Alright, so let's go ahead and use the throw axe here. Cool, so we don't have to deal with him right now. Good shot on the priest. We are flanked by the hunter right now, so he could just cause us some problems. And we really need to not, you know, deal with the pod under here. This is such an awkward fight. So we can... Oh, God. So you've got Implacable, which is if you get a kill, you get to move. So it actually might make sense for you to execute this guy so that you can pull back. We also need to deal with this priest, ideally without getting shot. So could do that. Could also run and gun. So we also do need to deal with the hunter somehow. Alright, let's move up here and see if sword or shotgun looks better at that range. God, we keep seeing this Andromedon and it makes me so nervous. Alright, so 84, 25 to crit, 6 to 8. 0% to crit. Huh. So we could also have you slash 100% here, try and shoot with the second ranger in order to get her implacable and get her unflanked from the hunter. It's only an 80%. Can throw down an aid protocol, can throw down some overwatches. Alright, well, let's focus on dealing with the problems we currently have and trying to be as careful as possible to not introduce any other problems.
Who's keeping score?
I hope you're not expecting me to go down that easy.
Oh, we've got Blade Master. We should actually be able to just guaranteed kill him. Alright. So then we need to focus on... Alright, so let's get the aid protocol here. So hopefully Blade Master will deal with this guy. We've got the 30 defense there.
Whatever you say.
Not what I meant to do. Alright, and then just go reload,
Ready to engage.
Overwatch, and then Overwatch.
Engaged. Got it covered. Let's get it on already.
What was that? Alright, got Blade Storms, so that should solve that problem. So he goes into stasis, but we'll be able to do the same thing next turn.
I generally don't like asking for help, but why turn down the elders?
Berserker. That's a little scary. And we're running out of time.
Just hold still.
Okay, so that... Don't like anyone getting wounded ever, but that was actually a pretty modest hit, all things considered. Okay, so... Just kill this Berserker, I think is the plan. So we can get a reload.
Ready to go.
Hope for a crit. Nice. Alright, and hope for another crit. Alright, so we can finish this guy off with... Do we have combat protocol? Gremlin heal? Alright, so we're not making any progress so far this turn, though, which is rough. We do need to eventually deal with the guys inside and the Chosen. So, can we just launch this here and kill the Berserker? We can. So we are going to activate this pod as soon as we push forward. So even though it gives the Hunter another shot, I'm inclined not to do anything just yet until we have our Rangers in place. So hopefully... Next turn, take one more thing from the Hunter that doesn't do too much, then kill this pod, then deal with the Hunter, I think is the plan. This guy should still die to Blade Storm, can kill this guy with the Spark Bit, And hopefully the hunter won't do more than shoot someone for a little bit of damage again. We don't have another aid protocol.
I'm going.
Alright, so Overwatch, bombard, kill this dude. It's pretty cool animation. Slightly excessive for 3 health. Yes, my amazing tactics of tons of explosives. And wasting free reloads.
Come get some. Come get some.
Alright, so we'll Blade Master this dude and then hopefully not get utterly destroyed by the hunter. Blade Storm him into the sky.
You know that was good.
Nice.
They're all over me!
I'm just testing the waters.
Alright, so let's actually...
Game. Hardly.
We can run and gun over to here and get a really good shot on him without too much chance of exposing this pod. So let's cross our fingers and try that. So this should be a flank shot? Yep. Alright, so run and gun.
Coming for ya!
Run over to here.
Got it!
Just keep seeing these guys and hopefully not activating them. Okay, alright. Well, it could be a lot worse. We've still got everyone's action left to deal with these guys. So, you can take a shot at the hunter, but let's actually try and do some other things first. So we've still got a frost bomb. How much can we hit with a frost bomb? Only one of these, probably. This codex has nicely flanked herself for us. We do have the Mimic Beacon above that we'll want to use. This turn, almost certainly. Is the Andromedon in cover from this angle? It is not. So if we can overdrive the mech, run up, and take several shots at the Andromedon, that's great.
I'm as graceful as a gazelle.
So we get to go for the overdrive. Oh, interesting. It's still higher on the closer target. We do need to shred the armor, though. So, we've got 2 actions left? Yes. So, first one, shred.
I'm going to need a bigger gun.
Oh, hair trigger. Nice. We've got 2 actions left. No action is turn ending. Cool. So we can rocket then punch if we want. So this is 11 damage, puts it to 1. That's unfortunate. So let's... Can we not rocket here? Okay, so we can rocket there. So do that. Oh, nice. Critical there. And then we can run up and punch here. 0% to crit, but puts it at 1 health. So we're not actually generating more codexes.
We found it.
Alright, so where are you teleporting to?
This is Avenger. We have positive confirmation of the target package. Move to acquire.
Nice. Alright, another position where we can flank her easily, so that's nice. Alright, so you are definitely going to want to get into cover somewhere and take a shot on someone. So you could go over here and shoot the Codex on a flank shot. So we're going to definitely mimic Beacon with you. But we should still take out at least one enemy before we do so. So could take out the Codex here, seems reasonable. See what the shot chance is, and then if it's not good enough,
I can handle that.
go for a grenade, just to guarantee. Do you have a stock? Advanced hair trigger, advanced scope. 94 is good enough that I'll just take it, though. Alright. Yeah, our damage is starting to fall off a bit, though. We really need plasma weapons on everyone soon. Alright, so now a Mimic Beacon should be sufficient to keep both of these two occupied, so we can just go for value. So we can start... So we could just blaster bomb him here to get the armor shred first. But I think the flank shot's probably better. Given that it's a ridiculously high crit chance. Yeah, that's just him at half health right off the bat. Alright, so before we forget, let's go ahead and throw down a Mimic Beacon. Alright, and then our last two people get some shots. No targets there. So we could just focus on getting you some high ground or in a decent position. Just get you as close to the action as possible. Could also throw down a heal. Although she's only lost 3 health, it doesn't seem like that big a deal. Alright, what have you got? You can get a flank shot on the Andromedon here. I'll take it.
Let's do this.
As long as neither of them crit for, 16. Wow, really?
I can handle that.
And you have shots on nothing from there. So we can just run you up behind here. Alright, Mimic Beacon, protect us. Ugh. Oh, it only goes up to 12 health. Alright, so that was actually 1 HP away from one of our soldiers getting shot, which is unfortunate. But, oh, interesting. So he healed off of the Mimic Beacon taking damage. Alright, bleeding.
I think I need some help.
Alright, bleeding, pistol overwatch. Okay, so, step 1... Shotgunner, kill this Codex. Oh, can you not get into a flanking shot on it? So you will need some healing at some point. What? Okay, what is the scope of problems we need to deal with? We need to deal with a Chosen, an Andromedon that's going to turn into a shell in a minute, and a Codex. Who has the special rounds? Okay, so you'll be able to deal a ton of damage to the shell. Really, we've got a little bit of an unfortunate situation of having the Codex at, or the Andromedon shell at 1, just because we're going to have to waste a full attack on it. Unless we can... Do we have anything large enough to hit? So we could do this. This is a little ridiculous, but if it sets off the car, that is not going to kill any of our people, right? Nope. So let's try and do this and see what happens.
No use running.
Oh, loot destroyed? That's sad. Alright. Got Implacable off of that, but that's not super important right now. Are the codexes close enough that we could potentially hit both with a plasma grenade? No. So it is possible we could get a Mimic Beacon on. Alright, so we've got 2 low health enemies and 2 high health enemies. So I'd say mostly we want to just focus on dealing all the damage to the shell. Our highest single damage sources targeting the shell, and then can have other people on Codex clean up. So we could also just put you next to the shell, is also an option. We can just put you here, and then the shell will try and melee you or walk away, and we'll be able to finish it off. Is not a terrible plan. So yeah, I actually like that. That saves us some time. You just run up here. Finish off that codex. So that would have been a better place to start than the blaster bomb, potentially. So then that's neutralized. Then we just need to kill this other codex and then deal with the Chosen somehow. So you can creep up on him. You're already in light cover. We do need to deal with that. You're bleeding, which we want to deal with eventually. You have a stock. Autoloader, hair trigger. You have a stock? Hair trigger, advanced scope. So if we can get close enough to the Chosen, we can try and suppress him. Oh, I forgot he was on Overwatch. That's a little rough. I mean, I guess it was just pistol. Well, it's... Alright, so the shell's already dead. It's not super useful. We're not on even on a timer for the objective until we deal with the Chosen. I think I like just pushing it on him here. No one's in terrible danger of dying just yet.
Finally.
So we can just blow that nonsense up. Seems fine. Can't hit both the Codex and him or his vehicle, but that leaves him as effectively the only thing left on the map.
Why don't you pick on someone your own size?
Alright, and then here we don't really have anything going on. Can't get a plasma bomb up to him, so you can just also run up into full cover. Overwatch seems fine. Alright, get the Blade Storm to finish this off. Nicely done.
Well, how about that?
And then the Chosen is the last problem for us. He does get a flanking shot on us by doing this. Miss. Come on.
Strange.
Okay, that's a weird choice.
At least we know where they are.
Crude.
Okay, so he's going for a stun grenade, which I'm actually really into. Untouchable. I forgot we had that on her.
Not sure what the elders expect me to do with a planet full of their pet projects. I'm not looking to run a zoo.
Oh, right. So now we should just be able to group up in this guy and murder him. So we don't want to give him cover with our robot.
As you wish.
We should what's your shot? We might want hollow targeting. No, it's 100%. That's good. And we're going to get his weakness on us this pretty easily. Alright, so that'll give us hollow targeting. So you can run up and point blank him. We'll try and farm some AP off of him in the meantime. You can't really get in range, so I guess it'll be up to our other ranger to get in and shotgun him.
Whatever you say.
So 100%, 65 to crit, and we're getting his 3+ attacks in a round.
Guess I better be more careful.
And then I guess we can just finish him off with this. Oh, you don't have... Well, how's your shot? We would be okay off of Blade Storm anyways. Kind of want to save you to heal. You have a shot.
What do you say?
It's not flanking, so we can't get the AP, but should be sufficient to finish him off. He was only grazed!
No, that was good. I'm running low on ammo.
Alright, and then we get to use Healing Protocol on our friend who's bleeding.
You might be the first to ever take me down more than once, Commander. Don't get cocky. I'll be back to finish this later.
Menace 1-5, we're not picking up further
Cool,
contact
so
in
we...
your position.
Timer's back on, but we've finished everything off.
Before the charges detonate. We've proven the Chosen can be hurt. Now we just have to work on putting them down for good.
Alright, and you can run up and pick up this container next turn. Actually, we will want
To go.
our specialist to do that.
Menace 1-5, we're not picking up further contacts near your position. Site is
Okay.
secure. Move on the target before the charges detonate.
So we want you to pick up the hack if possible. But failing that, I guess it goes to the robot. Alright. So I don't think healing has any impact on wound time, but we can check just in case. Heal him up just in case, because it's free. And then robot. So we took 2 minor hits that mission, but overall went pretty well. Watch list. Sure, that's fine. Nice.
Trivial at best.
Alright. So that was a successful mission overall. Had a little bit of a complicated dance around that one pod, but overall turned out well. Soul Stealer works differently than I expected. He full healed off of less... He healed for more than damage than was actually dealt.
Increase to this month's recruitment quotas. Citizens are
Looks like they also changed Mimic Beacons. I wonder if it's just always the same amount of health?
Remember,
or if it
Together can
is just like the soldier's health up to a maximum of 12.
This just goes to show that the Chosen are vulnerable and we can take them down.
Alright, so Bishop was already wounded before that, so it's not too bad. 3 and 6 days is very acceptable for how that went. Alright, only got one promotion here. Yeah, not bad for a mission with 2 Rangers, 2 Grenadiers. Pretty modest loot.
Hello, Commander.
Got the supplies, countered the dark event, and we also have the resources to build some fancy new things, which is nice.
Our research is progressing.
I got psionics coming, so this money will probably go towards Psionics Lab as soon as we've got that available. Slash Power for Psionics Lab, although we can just move an engineer over to that. Let's see, anything else we want to do here? Got psionics going. Still retraining our sharpshooter, which will be nice once we have that. Alright, so got a good number of scanning sites. We can go and do the black site coordinates and take on the forge whenever we want. Probably wait 3 days for our sharpshooter and then be ready to do that. Will be nice. Okay, supplies, alien alloys, soldier. We already started this soldier, and high-level troops are always nice, so we can just keep scanning on this. Got the rage suit. What do we want to do next in the foundry? Would rather minimize supply expenditures in the proving ground. So could go for another powered weapon. How many cores do we have? We have 2 cores, advanced explosives. I'd actually like to pick up these advanced explosives, I think. We've been using nothing but plasma grenades because we just have pretty low-level stuff otherwise. This will be nice to start working on.
We'll get started right away, Commander. I'll send word when the project is complete.
Alright, and can keep scanning here. Cool, so we'll be able to spec her out as more of a gunslinger to take advantage of our blue screen rounds against sectopods now. Don't think we need to retrain anyone else. Matt Stevens, sharpshooter, nice. So another major. So we've now got 2 totally untrained major sharpshooters, so we can probably spec them out however we want. I'll keep working on this supply raid I was doing earlier. We're in pretty good shape on the Avatar project. Okay, before we do this, we've waited a few days. Is this a good time to go do the foundry? Tired for 4 more days. That's weird. So we can just bring our new sharpshooter. Okay, we don't... So we do not have... the top sharpshooter, shoot them 3 times with your pistol ability yet. So that's not quite as good as I was hoping for on the retrain there. On the other hand, just as a note, she has 27 AP from being gifted, so we'll be able to spend that however we want. We can take a quick look at the training center. I don't remember too much about the Forge. The only thing I do remember is that there is 1 sectopod there. So, that's part of my consideration. Alright. So you've got 27 AP, and there's Rapid Fire, Shredder, Rupture, Hoof. And then... don't really want to wait for this covert action. Don't need a second Grenadier available. What have you got as special? Run and gun, not super useful. Not super useful. Yeah, you're not really as good at this whole sniping thing. 25 AP is nice, though. And 38 in XCOM, we can really pump some people up. Do want to get these guys up to Colonel. So I think I want to wait 4... God, do I want to wait 4 days for her? I feel like we can do the Forge fairly easily between Reaper scouting, super high-level troops. The Huntsman. How's our Spark doing? Four days. I don't think it's worth it. I think it's better to do it now. Matt is not quite as good. Well, it's also the bond abilities. Let's wait 4 days. I also want to keep leveling up this bond. I think they're close to maxing it out at getting it up to level 3, and I'd like to actually get that going on a pair. So let's wait it out. Hopefully no more missions in the next 4 days.
I appreciate the new lab facilities, Commander.
Alright, so now got a lab, which will let us get a bit of a jump on some science. How much is the upgrade? 125, and we don't have the power? That's fine. And then can move our engineer over to Proving Grounds. 2 days left on psionics.
These findings will likely prove crucial to our ongoing efforts, Commander.
Alright, and now we can build the Psi-Lab. Storm Gun inspired. I don't actually love doing this tech just because we've already got the Arashi. We don't have anything super high priority. Would like to get the Plasma Lance eventually. I think Beam Cannon would actually be a better use of our time. This just doesn't unlock any new tech, and we've already got a better weapon than the Storm Gun, so Beam Cannon it is.
As soon as we have something of note. I had fully expected to find that the aliens were conducting questionable experiments involving human captives at the black site we raided with the help of
Nice.
local
So we can start building this.
What we did find was something more reprehensible than I could have possibly imagined. A facility solely dedicated to the rendering and refinement of human genetic
Yeah, we can
material
pull
on an industrial scale.
Jill out of the infirmary and have her help out with the Psi-Lab.
Commander, we've pushed our current power systems to the limit. We don't have any capacity to spare, which means we can't expand our facilities further.
Alright, 5 days on this. How long until 3 days on lockdown? Alright.
Tactical mission site located.
Okay, I was actually not sure if this was going to give us a mission. And it does, so that's interesting. What? Oh, it's a lost mission. Okay. And an enemy unknown. Wow. I don't really want to do this. Huh. If we ignore it, do we lose the region?
Setting course for India.
Probably. That's awkward.
Commander, you should be aware. We're detecting lost activity in this area. Our forces will need to be especially vigilant.
Huh. Man, am I not happy about this? Can we just go over here and ignore it? Will it yell at us that it's a limited time offer? It will. Oh, this is a different thing. Oh, good. Wow, okay. Operation Chicken Mother. Man, I feel like we've had a really disproportionate number of missions on this 2-day span. Alright, so go ahead and write this down real quick. We've got 9 enemies, and that includes Andrew, Spectre, Lancer, Trooper, Viper, and unknown, presumably Gatekeeper. Ow! Man, I just need like 1 hot minute to go do the Forge and keep advancing the plot here, but especially if we can get the intel out of this, it'll give us some motion towards the plot. Alright, so definitely don't need 2 specialists. Into trying to get him up to Colonel. Hired for 1 more day. Got our new sniper. Got a Reaper. Want a Grenadier. You're tired, you're good. So this is 4 base classes Reaper Robot. That sounds good to me. So then we can go ahead and promote Volatile Mix or Chain Shot. We are going to be dealing with a Gatekeeper on this mission. Alright, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break here, grab myself a drink, and set up the mission. So, thanks to everyone watching, and we will go ahead and be back in 5 minutes.